and why the Jays were the better team in the end and stuff like that. I could talk about that, sure.
Yeah, so we're live now. It's the Julian Guilarte Show. Yankees get eliminated 5-2. Let's get right to it. They go down in 4 games. They lose at home again. This has happened many years. I'm trying to do a little time check here. So last year they lose at home in an embarrassing fashion in Game 5. 2023 they don't make the playoffs. 2022 they get swept at home. 2021 the road. 2020 on the weird neutral field. 2019 road. So like it's in 2018 home. So like I think like 4 of the last 5 sound like home, or 3 of the last 4, something like that. If you take away 2020. So honestly, like I was telling you, like the home field really doesn't mean much in baseball playoffs. But like the Yankees have all these flat performances at home. They don't show up offensively. Jazz makes a very idiotic error that caused 2 runs, and maybe he doesn't make it, things change. But still, the Blue Jays would probably win because in theory it would have been 3-2 if you like go by that. But are things tighter? Maybe is it a different situation? I don't know. But like the Blue Jays move on. So tell me the good side of what you thought of the Jays, and then like the bad side of how the Yankees kind of botched it. But the Blue Jays were the better team across the board. Let's not get that twisted here.
So looking at this team this year itself, that they they were a balanced lineup. Like they didn't have the hot, flashy, sexy names, and
Right.
obviously it
Except
starts out
Vladdy,
with Vlad and
obviously.
Bo.
Yeah.
And Bo wasn't in the series, but I mean those were the two faces of the franchise of this organization. And with Vlad, he had to wake up if this team really wanted to go far. And boy, he did. Like that's what you do when you lock up your cornerstone franchise player, and he it just shows you in many levels like what kind of a player he is. And he's just getting started, and he said this, like he has to start making his mark. He is motivated. I haven't seen this type of lad, even when I followed him in the minors and kept track with him. I never seen this type of lad. And look, there's a lot of pressure with him because his dad played it. He wants to live up to it, and he's
Yeah.
shown it in this series. And give credit to Nathan Lucas too, a guy who was in the minors for 10 years and has shown up
Crazy.
in big moments. And Ernie Clement too. Yeah,
Clement
and Ernie
crazy
Clement had a
too.
big series, man. Like, yeah, the like not always for the home run, but timely hitting, clutch moments at the right time possible, right? So, for the Yankees, this is my problem with the Yankees here,
Let's
and
hear it. Just tell us from an oppositional
they
standpoint.
they they're too one dimensional. And Buck
Yeah.
Martinez even said this. They hit for the home
Now,
run and
hold
they
up one
take
second.
walks. Walks is great.
I know people were trying to clown Buck, but in the end, he was right. Like I know a lot of Yankee fans didn't like that too much, but he was kind of speaking facts. And we're gonna be honest here, and this is what we're gonna do because I'm not sugarcoating anything. This was an embarrassing series. This was a humbling series, and the Yankees were not as good as Toronto all year, minus the month and a half or whatever, 2 months when they had the 7.5 game lead that they botched, and then they tried to run it down at the end, but they lost the tiebreaker because they couldn't win in Toronto. They were 1-8 up there. That was the biggest problem, honestly. Like they played okay against the Jays at home in certain spots, but they could not play in the Rogers Center for whatever reason. I don't know what was up with that
Well, the Blue Jays had the best record
at home.
in baseball this year at home, and
Mm,
that's what they're
okay.
they're very dangerous at home. And a lot of people don't realize that they had an issue last year, and this year, like I said, the way they played baseball, it seems like a house of horrors for the Yankees for
It
some
is right
reason. They were
now,
like
I'm
one and
pretty
eight
sure.
this
Yep.
year,
And they really
something
were
like that. And
they weren't that close in a lot of times, and they had the 4 game sweep in Toronto was when I had a. It's kind of a loss in division. At that point, I was like, the Yankees are probably not getting this thing back. I was like, that was really this telltale sign. There was a few leads that were blown in bullpens. Max Fried also an awful day up there, and the Blue Jays own Max Fried. That's something he's going to have to fix in the offseason. So that's not great for them, and he couldn't strike them out at all, like we spoke about this last time. But one thing I'm going to take away from this, and I think you'll agree with me, the Yankees have a dog in Cam Schlittler because he didn't even have his best
yes,
stuff tonight, and he still battled through 7 innings and should have only given up like 2 runs. I don't even know if those runs are earned because Jazz botched a double play. So even if they're earned or unearned, it should have been 2 runs for Cam through like not he didn't get through the 7th, but like 6 or whatever change or like however you want to slice that. But like he's a very good young arm. He's improved a lot over the years, and that's one thing you could be excited about. in this postseason run. I think that's probably the best thing I would take away is that Cam Schwittler has arrived and he's going to be a force in the Yankees rotation for a while.
Well, the Yankees always find pitching. That's one thing they've done well,
That
right?
is true. For the most part, if you
And
look at the last two
and
years after
yeah,
2021, where they kind of like didn't really have it, like 22 on, they've kind of started getting these guys through. Like Keel, 24, Clark Schmidt started emerging. There's been a bunch of other guys, Cam Schlittler, obviously, Will Warren to a lesser degree. So, I mean, yeah, their pitching development's been good. And then you have Elmer Cruz, who might get a shot next year, like we spoke about on previous
yeah,
episodes. I think he's probably next up. You have Carlos LaGrange, who could be up next year, maybe the way he's been
sure.
shooting up through the system. So and Ben Hess is probably like a year or two off, and then Cunningham and Herring in a lesser degree, probably
Cunningham,
between them.
yeah. Selvridge is another one. Yeah,
Yeah, Brock is in the
yeah. So
mix. So
that's
like that's good, but
yeah.
their offense is a mess. And like, why do you think they continue to fail in October? Do you think it's just like the home run or bust issue that they keep relying on? Do you think that's what fails them in October? Do you think it's like a deeper thing too? Because like the hitting approach works in the regular season against like average teams, like below average teams. Sometimes you'll beat a few elite teams, but when they turns on the lights in October, like whatever they're doing just hasn't worked for a while, and it's not a flaw because it's been every year. It's not a crapshoot anymore. Like it's been 16 years of a championship. Like it's not an accident. Like what they're doing is clearly not working. Like the system is not good. Like the analytical group, Boone, Cashman, whatever they decide together, whether Boone pushes back or doesn't, like whatever they're doing is not working. It's very clear in October at least.
Well, this is the thing, and you know what? They have to go back to how they started in 2017 when they made it to the ALCS,
Yeah, that seems like a
building
lifetime ago.
homegrown talent.
Because who would
No,
have thought back then that they would never get further than that? Well, I guess Dodgers last year, but they embarrassed themselves, but they did get
right.
further. So I mean, look, it's a big problem. It's a philosophy issue. Like, do you fire the hitting coach? I would entertain that at this point because like they keep failing in October. It's not fully on him. But you got to change something. Would I look at Aaron Boone? Yeah, I would. Will they? I doubt it. But I mean, you have to
I
have the
doubt it. Yeah.
conversation based on all the failures in October. Like, you're not supposed for the Yankees. Like, he's been the longest tenured manager without winning a World Series. By the way, like by a wide margin. No one's gotten this much rope and not one delivered a championship for the Yankees ever. And he's like 8 years
Well,
in, and he has not gotten them a
yeah.
World Series. He's made it once. There's been, I think, three CS trips, I want to say, because he wasn't there in 17. So you go to 19, you go to 22, which they lost, 24 win. So they've gone to the CS three times. He wins 90 to 100 games, but it keeps coming up empty in October.
Well, this is how I look at it this way, and like you said, like Aaron Judge is not getting any younger. He's going to be 34 next April. Stan's going to be 36 next year, and you have to figure out
That's a good
what you
point as
want to do
well.
with this team,
That's a
right?
good
And you
point
have
as
to
well.
understand. Right. And you have to look at it this way: is Dominguez part? Like I told you last time when we were here Sunday,
Yes.
I was shocked that Dominguez. I was shocked that Dominguez didn't play in this series
Yeah.
because he owned the Jays earlier this year.
I
The
was
guy
gonna,
can hit the
yeah,
ball, and
yeah. I wanted him to be used more too, and then when he kept in, finally he gets a hit. So I mean, he was ready. Grisham was awful, and they kept leading him off, and I kept saying to get him out, but they kept doing it. And Dominguez could have got a start somewhere. It's not like he's a scrub. I mean, his defense needs work. We can all acknowledge that. But like you said, he was like an above average hitter, like right around the average line maybe in the season. He needs to get better against lefties. There's no question. But he can still
no,
swing the
absolutely,
bat.
yeah.
I mean, it's not like he's a zero. So I think they need to work with him and develop him, or they have to send him on his way. I would prefer to keep him and let Grisham go. I would still want to entertain bringing back Bellinger unless you swing for the fences and go get Kyle Tucker. Now, is that something that they're actually going to do? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not sure. I know they were interested in trading for him last year. I hear McElmurray's coming up now, but I'm not as sold on that because I know some people are infatuated with him. I'm very on the fence. He seems like another boomer bust guy. I'm not sure if that's what the Yankees need. So he might hit a bunch of bombs in Yankee Stadium, but he might not even be able to play in the league. We don't know. Like these Japanese hitters are good, but like I feel like the pitching is better with the Japanese players when they come over. Like think about how many good Japanese hitters we've had. There hasn't been as many as the pitchers.
Right,
You know,
right.
Tommy
No,
obviously breaks that barrier, Ichiro and
yeah,
Matsui, but like if you look past
yeah.
those three, like who's an elite Japanese hitter?
No, I mean that's a fair point. I mean, it all depends what the market for these guys is. Like, what's going to happen in Pete Alonso? That to me is
That's
going to be the
interesting.
market. Like Kyle Schwarber, interesting enough. I think he goes back to Philadelphia, depending on what's his asking
I
price.
think so as well. I
Right.
think he's going back too. I think they love him there. I think he's a beast. I think he has made himself very acclimated there, and I think he's going to return. I really do. He did just hit a homer tonight to break out of his over 22.
Right.
The Dodgers are actually losing, I think, 3-1 still. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if they came back. By the way, but we'll see. The Brewers lost tonight, so the Cubs have life. The Tigers got a huge win, but we're not gonna really go to that. Maybe I'll end with that, but like we're gonna really focus on the Yankees and Jays here. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so like, how do you change this offense? Because to me, yes, the pitching was bad in game one and game two, but like they really weren't hitting at all, with the exception of yesterday when they had that crazy comeback. So let's think of like what could actually change and what's stuck in stone. So here we go. Let's say that Aaron Judge is obviously stuck in stone. You would think Giancarlo is, and like you said, G has 2 years left. Judge is getting to 34. How many elite years do you think Aaron has left? Like two or three? Probably two or three, right? And before you start to see a swindle, maybe two, I guess, because he's so good. Like even if you see a slight drop off, he's still going to be very good.
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at it this way here, and there has to be more of a balance. It can't be just centered around Judge Dan. I mean, what do you do with Chisholm? Do you still retain him for another year, or do you
Yeah,
because his defense is not good?
he's still under contract. He'll be back.
Right.
I mean, I thought his defense. I mean, today it really hurt them. I have to check some more numbers to see like how he performed this year before I speak on that, because I think he has some good moments. Like you look at that play that he knocked down against Boston. That was a huge play that saved a run, ends up helping them win the game. And not that many second basemen make that play. So I think he's. I don't think he's awful there. I'm willing to check to like double back myself, but that was a costly play and it really changed the tie because like you really had to keep it 2-1 because the Yankees weren't hitting. So like you couldn't afford to give up any more. And that was a tailor-made double play. Play that has to be made. Play that he makes in his sleep. So I mean, that's kind of a bad situation. And now he has to wear that into the offseason. The Yankees defense breaking down in crucial situations, still a big problem. So, and then you saw how the Jays played yesterday defensively. So I guess the Yankees gave it back. But the Jays have been solid on defense all year for the most part. So let's go through like how we think maybe the Yankees can go through this. So Paul Goldschmidt's going to be gone. That's not a question. He's done.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
agree.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying.
We're going to
No,
go through
I'll
power
say.
here.
Yeah, I'll talk about So Paul Goldschmidt 1 year deal doesn't hurt. I mean, for you need to put Ben Rice at first base every day next year. I think that's the ultimate goal for you guys. Unless you
Yeah.
want to upgrade to, because you're gonna have Stan at DH, right? So Ben Rice
Yeah,
needs to
you
get
need
everyday
G at the
reps.
D. Yeah, you need G at the DH spot. And then like, yeah, I don't love Rice catching. I kind of agree with you. I'm really not into his catching. I never was really into that experiment. I kind of thought it was forced. Wells is much better back there. What are your thoughts on Austin though? Because he kind of had an uneven series. Like it started good, didn't end well. Like, do you think he's good enough offensively? I still think there's something in there, but he did not have a great season offensively. So I don't know. I feel like next year's kind of make a break for him. And then his buddy Anthony Volpe, same situation. He ended the season horrifically bad. Could you have used Caballero in certain spots? Yeah, I think you may have. You could have tried that. They didn't want to. But what would you think? What were you thinking? Did you think they were going to make a switch to Cabby at any point? I thought like after he struck out in the fifth, I would have made it there.
What surprised me about the way he used the lineup, like you have to put everything on deck. Everything is on the line. Schlittler was not bad at all. He did whatever he did, but like when you look at Caballero, he gives you speed. He gives you uh what's that distraction, right, with the
Mm-hmm.
pitchers and the catchers. So
Good
I
point.
was kind of surprised that he wasn't in the lineup, right? Rosario was interesting putting in there. That was it, but it kind of, I mean, the defense kind of. I mean, you're gonna switch for his bat, right? Because against left-handed pitcher, he's really good. But Yeah, I mean, you look at this is my problem with the Yankees here, and I've watched a lot of Yankees baseball as well.
Right, because
Is
you're the
that they
division
have to
rival.
fight?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Right. So obviously I have to know. So the balance, there has to be some sort of balance. And I do think they need to go after a backup catcher. I don't think Escara is enough because at times behind the plate isn't good, but he does provide the bat at times. It's either you're gonna have to give more reps at Escara or you go get a veteran backup. Like the Jays have Tyler Heineman. He came out big for the Jays whenever Kirk was sitting down,
Yeah, like
his off days.
I like the scare. I do. I'm friends with him to keep that like
Right.
to the rack.
Right.
So like
Right.
I might be better for him to get a better runway in another situation, maybe, because like it might benefit him
Yeah.
to get a better chance to be a backup catcher. Because I think he's shown he can at least be a backup. Now the question is like, does another team believe that? I think they could. I think it's possible, especially defensively, like you said. His offense, like they didn't really give him that many chances. Like he didn't get that many at bats. I still feel like we don't know yet. Like I'll check the at bats, but like it wasn't that many, honestly. I would have liked to see more of a sample size, but I know they want to get Rice's bat in the lineup. That's what did JC, and unfortunately, so
Right.
we'll see what they want to
Right.
do there. Do you try to get a righty catcher? You might want to do that. They had it. They traded Narvaez. I mean, JC only had 84 at bats all year, so I'm not really sure what to draw from that. I would have liked to see him get like 200 at least, but we didn't. Will a team give him a chance to get that? Maybe. If he returns, then is he back up again? Is he third string? Is Rice your first baseman? Does Bellinger play? Does he return? Because I think Grisham's gone. I think he just played himself out of the Yankees, even if there was a chance of his return. He was horrendously bad, and like I said, like he should not have been leading off continuously. Should have gave Jason a shot somewhere. Like you said, he did hit well against Toronto. I do remember even in the Rogers Center a few times. Um,
Killed him. Yeah.
so I don't get why you wouldn't try to maximize that when no one was really hitting that well. I think Jason needs a longer look next year. I think they kind of cut his season short. It's got to be frustrating for him to end it like that. But how do they value him? Is he part of the future? Is he part of the package? Do they try to get Joe Ryan or something? But they still need to fix their hitting, even if they did do that. So we go around the horn. Do you think Volpe's seat will be hot? Do you think Cabe's going to push him a little bit? They do still have Oswaldo Cabrera as well. He's going to be back. It's going to be a lot of infielders. They might have to get rid of someone. I don't even know how they're going to fit everyone.
Well, the thing is that you
Rosario
guys
too. I
have
thought he did
some.
well against lefties.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll come back, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, you got to look at it. I think Volpe's. I mean, the injury was an issue for him. He looked better defensively. The bat started to come around here and there, but you have to give him another go next year. The guy's too young to be given up this easily,
Well, I
and
don't
this
want
is
to
my
give up
problem
on
with this.
Jason, by
Is
the way. I'm not saying to
yeah,
give up on
I
him.
wouldn't either. I wouldn't.
You
You
know, I've
have to
watched him for
start
years at
playing
every
younger.
level, so I'm still
Right,
believing it's
right,
him
right.
there.
Right, you got to start playing the younger kids too. That's the way baseball's going. Look at the
It's a
Jays.
good
They start
point.
bringing up the younger guys. Yeah, the Addison Bargers. Kirk was in the system. Vlad and Bo were homegrown talents.
Good
Um,
point.
David Schneider, he was
Yep.
drafted in 2017, became a
Schneider's a
contributing
Jersey kid
factor.
too, and he was like pouring a lot of praise
Yes,
on the
sir.
Yankees because he must have been a Yankees fan growing up. So you plucked him
Yes.
from Jersey, brought him to Canada. Now he's looking pretty good. He hits lefties really well. It's always been a good contact bat. His advanced numbers have looked good for a while too. He hasn't gotten like the even amount of bats yet, but we'll see how he progresses. I do think that he's been solid for you guys. And Lucas, like you said, Clement, like all these guys came through, and that's what happens. Like the Blue Jays have guys that put the bat in the ball, except for yesterday. That was the only time they kind of whipped a lot. But like the Yankees don't really do that. Even the guys that are fast strike out. Like Volpe whips a lot, Jazz whips a lot. Dominguez, like I don't think his whiff rate was crazy, but it was just like a lefty issue. Like he just couldn't hit the lefties that well. Those are your speed guys, really. Bellinger, his whips aren't awful. He's cut down on those. He has a little bit of speed. So, like, would you bring back Bellinger if you were a Yankee fan or, like,
Do-
on the Yankee side of things? Do you think he should return or should they go big and try to get Tucker?
You could go after Tucker. It's a possibility, but let me ask you this: with his injuries the last couple of years and given the way he's performed, like the latter half of this year, and I get it. He's been injured. I think he had a calf injury and
He's been it
a
was
thumb
not his
injury.
best year by any means. Like 266, 22, 73 RBIs. Have to see his at bats and like some other things, but it was not like your typical Kyle Tucker year. He's also not been the best player in October, but he does have a ring. He did steal 25 bases. His OPS was 841. You'd like that to be higher for a guy of his caliber. On base 377, it's like okay. Um, he got 500 at bats, so he probably missed like 100 plus at bats because of injuries. So I just like for Tuck, I do think he's still solid. He's been 0 for his last two games, but he did get 3 hits in the Padres series, no home runs, still no RBI. So I think his value definitely dropped. I don't know what it was, but I think you can't say it went up based on this season. It definitely had to have gone lower.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like like I said, you have to see what these guys are. And I get it. There's a lot of pressure with this organization with Aaron Judge and Stan and Garrett Cole should be back next year. And now this is going to year 2 for Max Fried. I think this is going to year 4 for Rodon.
Yeah,
So
four for Zone.
I mean
The window's closing a little
yeah,
bit. Like
and
you could see it getting slammed shut. And then you have the lockout in
yeah,
27. So for me, like I'm really looking at next year as a year because like we don't know what's going to happen after that. And if there is a
yeah,
lockout,
yeah,
then the Yankees are going to be in a very bad spot when the curtains get lifted because you're going to burn a year of guys that are older, and then they're not going to have played for a year, and you don't know like how they're going
yeah,
to respond. Like maybe not a full season, but even if it's like a couple months, like it's not going to be pretty. I don't want to talk about it that much right now, but like it is going to be a problem. It does factor in, and like next year really has to be the year the Yankees figure it out. Um, I would say Jazz Chisholm's on a free agent. I thought, so to bring back Jazz next. Is he? I didn't think he was. I gotta check.
he has one more year left. But he
Yeah,
has one more
maybe
year
the
left
Yankees
before
are
he hits.
saying
Yeah,
to extend him, but he said two
yeah,
players to bring back for sure: Jazz Chisholm
uh,
and Bellinger.
yeah.
So I mean,
Um,
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I feel like I would like Cody to return unless you go get Tucker. Um, do you just order it unless you want to go into Jones, like you said, let him get the shot, and then just try to build through the youth movement? Could you run an outfield with Tucker, Jones, and Dominguez and Judge? Is 4 for 3 spots. Stanton does get hurt a lot, so you could have Judge DH. So a lot of times when Stanton misses a time or something, but it would be tough to still control all that. So I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna get Tuck, but they got to do something. I'm not really sure what else they could fix because Ryan McMahon, I know he had a homer. His offense is very hit or miss. His defense is exceptional, but he's probably there again next year because he has 2 more years left. Volpe's gonna be challenged, I would say, especially if Ozzy and Cabby are still around, which I think they would be. So is his playing time get cut into? Does he become a platoon player against lefties? Like I don't know. Could you play Ozzy against righties and like Volpe against lefties? Maybe. Not sure. It's going to be a lot of moving parts. So I guess that Tucker and McAmurray would be the big fish. I highly doubt Pete Alonso's coming. I don't even think you should. Because you see how he's kind of failing too sometimes in October. Even though he's had a good one, he's an all or nothing guy. The Yankees don't need that. So, like, I don't know. It's a lot of moving parts right now. The starting rotation is probably fine. If you want to add an arm, go ahead. Like a mid tier, like an upper tier guy to have some assurances. Garrett may not be back till June. The bullpen's an absolute mess. So, what do you think about some of the stuff I was just bouncing off?
um, I could say this. Yeah, the thing is like, man, it's tough. Do you go after? I don't know. Luis Ariz, great hitter, contact hitter, but can't defend. That's
Yeah.
another thing,
Well,
right?
he's a
Like,
fit, and I feel like his skills are eroding him a little bit. He's not what he once was either.
yeah,
So,
I don't know. Like the thing is like you have, like I said, like you have to look at the situational points about like what's the issue, what how do you cut down the strikeouts, right?
yeah.
And you want to have more of a balance for contact, right? Like that's the question you got to ask. Like, are you going to get someone that can protect Aaron Judge? Because when you guys had Juan Soto last year, you guys were forced to reckon with, because with him and Gleyber Torres, and I think Gleyber Torres is missed in this
We're
lineup
gonna
too.
talk about
He's a
Glaber because he was playing really well. He's been on fire lately. He hit a homer today. I want to touch Tigers Mariners because I was there. But we'll
Right.
do that soon. But Glaber is definitely a guy that like I've been thinking about because like their third baseman was a big hole for a while. McMahon patched it up a little bit. Not the best hitter. Could you have been better off if Jazz was at third and Glay was at second? You can make a case because you wouldn't have had a vacancy at third base all year. Even if Jazz was not the best defender, like think about the offensive difference of what they were getting from third base for like 4 months was just unacceptably bad, and they just let it happen. That's unacceptable as well. If they handled that, I bet they win the division as well because they only lost by a game in retrospect. So like the third base was an issue all year, and they didn't address it till the deadline. And it was lazy, it was embarrassing, it was uncompetitive, it was unfair to everyone else in the team, and it just really made no sense going into the season without a third baseman. That was just beyond stupid.
Yeah, yeah. The thing is, like, it's it just like I said, like there has to be some sort of issue. There has to be philosophical change. Like, what is Brian Cash? Because there are a lot of analytics that gets too involved in this, and there's going to be something that needs to change. And they have to let Aaron Boone uh do his job, because it seems like he just said right now he's they asked him the question, are you going to be back? He said, I'm under contract, right? So that's
Yeah.
something that he said. So I don't think he goes anywhere unless there's
Hopefully
something
not.
drastic that changes about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Jazz
So
had two defensive runs saved at second this year. His OA was 8. So, I mean, he was okay. He was pretty good. He just wasn't good today. I think he's fine over there. It's just a stupid moment again, like they always have in October. Yeah, Boone is a guy like I would definitely get rid of at this point, but they won't. Feel good. I feel comfortable saying that. I've expressed this a little bit. I just don't think he's the right guy to get this team over the hump in October. I think the proof is in the pudding. Like I said, longest tenure manager out of the World Series in the Yankees staff for ages by a wide margin. I think the record was like 5. This is like what, year 8 of him. Like it's just not.
yeah.
And it's just like they lost their way. It's not about chips anymore. It's about getting to the playoffs. Like saying if you can get lucky, which they can't. Just saying, oh, we tried, this and that. They make all the excuses. Garrett Cole was hurt. We lost Clark Schmidt. Like that's coming. Like that's going to be the next part of this. So I'm not feeling great about that. I don't really know how they're going to handle this. With the bullpen, there's some interesting stuff here. I want to ask you two big questions. For me, there's two huge ones here. It's Luke Weaver and Devin Williams. So for Luke Weaver, do you think he pitched himself out of New York?
Ooh, that's a good question, because down the stretch he did show up in that moment. Like, I feel like he was getting acclimated finally. uh the way he pitched, his changeup is still devastating. His fastball does show up here, but I mean, that hit by Nathan Lucas, you can't do nothing about it. That was out of the strike zone. He just got it. Like, he's a high velocity. He did that with Fernando Cruz, I think, in game one as well.
That's a
So
good point.
yeah, so I think you kind of have to bring back Devin Williams, but
Surprisingly,
I mean,
yes. You talk about a 360 comeback story. Like
yeah.
this guy, they had his plane ticket booked to get out of here, but now you look at what he did in the postseason and down the stretch. Like you're gonna have to consider bringing him back, but like I don't know if the Yankees are gonna want to pay the money it's gonna require, and if he wants to come back, because there's definitely some mixed stuff there if he wants to return or not. But like I don't know. I would probably do it. I could probably let Luke go, just because like you may have maxed out on him, even though the injuries and stuff came out. Like Luke Weaver was a journeyman. Luke Weaver was a terrible starter. Luke Weaver turned into an elite reliever, but then he fell apart, and he had one of the worst postseasons you'll ever see. So I don't know where that leaves him. I don't know where that leaves them. He talks about wanting to start games. I can't see that happening, obviously, and that the Yankees will not let him do that. So I'm not sure if a team is willing to take that gamble on him to make him a starter. You saw the Mets did it with some success with Clay Holmes, so that's definitely debatable.
So my buddy just messaged me. He says, if you can turn up your mic a little bit, because he can't really hear you. If you can do that, that'll be great.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I'm kind of trapped right now. This thing's acting up on me like crazy. I don't know what I could do. It's
yeah, I know you're fine.
I'll try my best.
Um,
Maybe I can talk louder. I don't know if this is working better. Like
okay, yeah, that's
I
fine. That's
can't
fine.
I can't see the studio. This is the problem. Like my Chrome is bucking right now. I can't even get in it. Like, but I'm still going somehow. But I don't know how
No,
we're gonna
you
end this. This
no,
might
you're
be a problem. Oh shit.
no, you're
I
fine.
hope I
No,
make
no,
it
no,
this
but
to
you're fine
stream.
with me.
Okay, I'm
No,
glad
no,
we
you're
stay
fine with
on
the
this. I
stream.
guess. How much time did we?
No,
I can't even.
you're
I can't even see it. How much time are we at?
29. You're at 29. You're pushing 30 minutes. So
Okay, so we'll end
okay.
soon, but like I can't do a lot of things right now, so everyone please keep that in mind.
No, no, no. You're
Um,
fine. You're fine.
yeah. So, all right. I mean, let's just turn the page in the Yankees. I've had enough. They're done. They're
Okay.
going to Cancun. It's over. I don't know how they're going to rebound or respond. Are the Blue Jays all of a sudden the division favorites? Are you worried about the Red Sox closing the gap a little bit if they decide to go big finally, like they started to go big last year?
Um.
Do you think they lose Bregman? Probably, right?
See, see, I was looking at some Red Sox people, and
What are they
John
saying?
Henry is focused. They're focused more on Liverpool than anything else. And I said this. Yeah, I mean the Red Sox pitching. I do think that they're going to do some damage this offseason. But the
Okay.
question is,
Do they
this
get
is the
Joe
thing, and we
Ryan? Because
talk.
they have the assets for him.
They do, they do. They might have to give up early or toll as part of that deal, right?
That's an
So
easy decision. You don't even think twice about that.
yeah, yeah, right. Also Sandy Alcantara will be available. I think he's going to be on the market too. He's going to get traded. Him or Edward Cabrera. They need bats because the Marlins always have
Yes,
pit. I
I could see
I
Sandy going
wouldn't.
to
Yeah.
Queens.
Mm, I could see that too. I know the Mets are gonna do some work in the offseason, but we'll get to that another day. But
Yeah,
like back to
Mets,
the Red
forget
Sox.
it.
So
They've been in Cancun for a couple weeks
um,
already. We're good on the Mets right now.
so this is the other question I need to ask about the Red Sox is what do they do with Jared Duran? Because that was a
Does he
name that was
finally get
circulated
traded?
around
Because
trade
that's
rumors.
I heard things were like close and like that they really want to get rid of him at a certain point in
Yeah.
time. Do they do that this offseason? Do the Padres finally go get him, but they have nothing left to get him with? So I don't even know how they would do that. Their system's basically broken down at this point. It's very bad. AJ Preller pulled every string, and none of them have worked. So does his seat get hot at a certain point in time? It's a discussion for another day. Let's go to this Mariners Tigers series. Do you think the
Okay.
Tigers are cooking now? Are you more worried about them or the Mariners if they get through? Because Skubal goes game 5. The Tigers were down 3-0. The stadium was dead until it wasn't. The fifth inning was a thing of magic for Detroit, and the sixth inning was another magic. And Bo Melton really shoved. He came in and was dominant. Like he really shut Seattle down twice. He only gave up 1 run, and that's a good sign for him going forward because he's going to be in the rotation next year.
So how do I look at it this way? So
Who would you
Scuba is
rather
pitching on
play? Who
Friday.
would you rather play if you had to
Uh
choose? I know it's tough because you guys would start Sunday. Yeah, Scuba would be burned for a bit. Luis Castillo will be burned. Does Brian Wu return? That's the X factor here.
that's the question.
Does Brian Wu come back for the CS?
That's the question because like with Brian Wu, he's not healthy right now. We'll see how his health status is going to determine because Tigers found a new way to get to game 5 and it's impeccable the fact that you got Scuba versus Kirby. That's going to be an all class
Oh no,
matchup
I
in
thought it was
every.
Castillo. Wait, Kirby's going?
Oh, is it Castillo? Is it Castillo? Oh yeah,
It
yeah, yeah.
could
Okay,
be
it's
because
Castillo,
Luis won
right?
game 1, or could they bring Kirby back? I don't know. Could they do him 3 days rest? I
Let me,
guess
let
they
me see.
could, right? Because he pitched
Did they?
game 2. Could they? I
They
guess they.
didn't say who's get. They didn't
Wait,
say
let me
who's the
think.
game
Let me
five
think. Let
starter,
me
but
think.
it's Scuba.
Wait, they could do Kirby in theory, I think, because hold on, I'm drawing a blank here. Oh, right, I'm off base. It was Bo versus Kirby game 1, and then Schoolball versus Castillo game 2, I believe. So does that mean Kirby's coming back for 5, and then they're gonna do Schoolball on his normal rest?
I don't know. I mean, both
I
sides,
mean,
all hands are in deck. So I'm fine with whatever. The Jays have 4 days to think about it, right? So
yeah,
I'm not
so it's
really
gonna.
too
Let me
concerned.
think. Kirby pitched. I'm gonna double check this just to make sure I'm right. I think I am. Let's see. Yeah, the Mariners. Wait, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Kirby pitched Saturday. I want to say. Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be Kirby, bro. He pitched Saturday. Why would they use Castillo instead of Kirby? It's got to be him. He has plenty of rest. Castillo can come out of the bullpen if they need him to. Schoolball's on his
Yeah.
normal rest because of the 2 off days, so it's definitely going to be Kirby versus Schoolball. It doesn't make any sense to go to Castillo.
Well,
So I'm
well,
assuming that's what they're going to do.
Well, the thing about with Castillo and Kirby is like, okay, you got to look at the peripherals. Who matches up better? Because Detroit's offense woke up in the ninth inning, and that's how
Well, no,
they started waking up today.
it was the fifth and the sixth today that
Well,
went.
I'm talking about yesterday's game before
Oh
today's
yes,
game.
yeah, right. I saw that. Yeah,
They scored the four
yeah.
innings
I
when
did see
Caleb
it.
Ferguson. I bringing up Caleb Ferguson was a disaster because that kind of opened up the door for the Tigers offense to wake up
They were
in
up
that
seven. I
moment.
get why they did it because they were up 7 runs, but they
Yeah,
still had
yeah,
to use Munoz, so it really backfired. But Andres will be very
right.
rested for Game 5. He can probably go 2 innings. That's huge for them. In an ideal world, they probably get 7 from Kirby and 2 from Munoz. That's probably what they want to do, I would think.
Yeah,
And
I
the
mean the
Tigers are
thing
going to
is
want to
like
do Scooble the Vest and maybe Finnegan.
all hands are deck. So all
Yeah,
hands are in deck, but but if I had to take a speculation who I think is going to win that, I have a feeling Detroit's coming out of that game, man.
and Scooble too.
Just a feeling.
How do you go against Tariq? I mean, I know
It's
Mariners played him
not
3 times,
that.
but like that's
It's
what I'm thinking.
it-
What makes you think it's something
well,
different? What's your facts right here? The offense waking up, that might
A-
be it.
AJ Hinch
It's definitely better
has
than
been in
Wilson.
this moment
Yeah,
before.
Wilson's
Well, he's
different.
been in this moment before. You remember last year against Cleveland
They lost.
when he
Yeah,
didn't pull Scoobo. He's been through that. He's not gonna make that same mistake again. And the fact that with Dan Wilson's first go around, he made a couple mistakes today, and that's what
he
costed him the
did.
game.
He
So
left Bryce Miller in too
so
long. He got away with murder for Bryce Miller pitching 4 scoreless
mm,
innings. He should not have let him go that long.
that's
I said once the
that's
Tigers
the
got to see
yeah.
him the second time that they would do damage against him at some point, and that's what happened. It had to wait. It was patience. It was methodical. It was really ugly in the first 4 innings, but they got to him the second time through it. That middle bottom part of the order, they really erupted against him, and that was what made the difference. And I knew Bryce Miller was going to be God at some point. It's not like the Bryce Miller of old. He was not good this year. And he looked good today for a bit. He was throwing 97, 98. I was like, oh, wow, maybe he's back. And he was for a little bit. And then after that, like, that was an absolute snowball. How about Javi Baez turning back the clock? This is like 2016
Javi
Javi
Baez
Baez
turning back the
today.
clock.
He was
Yeah,
going
yeah.
nuts today. Gleyber Torres showing that he's still showing it, kind of kicking the Yankees in the nuts even more with how he's playing now while they're sitting at home. Then you had Riley Green showing up in a huge way. He hit a bomb today. That was a massive home run to
Yeah.
go ahead. 450 feet. He really needed it badly, and he got all of it. I'm really impressed with the grit and the resiliency the Tigers have shown because they could have just quit when they gave up that division lead. They could have quit in Cleveland in Game 3. They could have quit today, but they still battled it. Like they're grinding, they're playing uneven baseball, but they guess what? Now they have a Game 5 from one of the best pitchers in the world, and they have all the confidence in the world when that guy's on the mound.
So, yeah, the thing is like you just have to see what these managers are going to do and
I'm really
who's on
excited for
deck.
the game. I think it's gonna be an awesome game. I think it might be a
Oh,
close
I
one, but it's
mean
gonna be
I
very
mean the
fun.
J well, I have to watch that game because I need to know who the Jays are going to face this weekend
No, I'm
on
locked
of
in. Like this is
ALCS.
gonna be a special game. Like
Oh,
I'm
I'm
really
going to be
looking
locked
forward
in.
to it.
Yeah.
And we might have
It's
3 games now because the Brewers have life, the Cubs have life, but it also might just be that one because tomorrow we have 2 more DS games to see if they can close them out. I think let me check. I think the
yeah.
Phillies are still up. Is it 4-1 now? Yeah. I mean the Dodgers could come back. We've seen it before, but not looking great this moment in time. Kershaw's on the mound against Castellanos. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the
That's
Phillies, like we thought the Phillies could come back and do this thing. Now, if the Phillies somehow win tomorrow, then the Dodgers might choke. Because then you have a Game 5 in Philadelphia after the Phillies have won 2 straight. I don't think the Dodgers want to be
yeah.
part of that. So tomorrow, Sanchez versus
Well,
Glass now. Tell me why the Phillies can't win that game.
Sanchez versus Glass now. So this is my problem with
Phillies
Glass
could
now.
win that.
How Phillies can win that. Sanchez has been phenomenal all year.
He's been a beast.
He has to be a Cy Young candidate
He's right behind Paul Skeens
in
because he
this
has
year.
certain numbers that
He
look better
should
than
be.
Paul, actually. He
He
should be
should
right up
be.
there with Paul
He
on.
should be.
The problem that's going to get him is
If
the ERA and the strikeouts. So actually, the strikeouts might be
yeah.
sort of close, actually, I think. But like, yeah, they're
Yeah.
kind of close. The ERA is different, but like, I didn't expect this stuff might go in favor of Chris. Glass now could be had in the postseason. We've seen him before. He's also been in the bullpen, and now they're starting him. I don't know. I mean, the Phillies could get it tomorrow. Maybe they go back to Philadelphia. If they go back to Philly, what happens? I'm trying to see what would happen. They don't even know. They would have Shohei, and then I'm assuming Lazardo. Probably
It'll be
Lazardo. He gets paid well. You
Lazardo.
got to
I
go
think
Lazardo. Yeah. Ranger
Lazardo,
Suarez
Ranger
today.
Suarez would be available.
Well,
Yeah,
first
like
two innings,
this is the
he got a
thing.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think Ranger Suarez is going to play at some point in this series if they keep going. Like
Well, they
that's for sure
pitched
because
today a
they
lot.
use.
That's the thing.
Okay, yeah. Then if it goes to
Ranger
Game
got his
5, then
work
Suarez
today,
would have to pitch. Then, yeah,
like an
yeah,
inning
yeah.
maybe. So like, I think
Appar-
it
uh,
would be.
apparently, there's a rumor. Wait, I'll say this quick. There's a rumor that the Jays are already linked to Ranger Suarez this offseason. I don't know what's the truth to that, but that's already been out there. So
I feel like Rangers
it's
definitely will
interesting.
leave because the Phillies have so many bodies. Even with
Yeah,
Wheeler being banged up, I feel like Rangers gone. I know Luzardo's under
yeah.
control, Chris is under control, Nola's still
Well,
there.
they also have Painter, and they also have Painter, and they just
Painter's
drafted
good
Gage
guy.
Wood too, right?
Yeah,
So
Gage Wood's
yeah,
good too.
yeah,
Like they
yeah.
have
Absolutely,
bodies in there. So like,
sure.
so you'd rather play the Mariners? You're telling me if you had to pick?
Um, for me, it doesn't matter because you've seen what the Jays lineup can do
Jays are home
offensively.
team.
Yeah, they got the home field, so it doesn't matter for me. I mean, if you want to look at a traveling perspective, Detroit makes
You'd
a
rather
little bit
just
more
go
sense,
Detroit. Yeah, I mean I'm right
right?
here.
But
I
the
was gonna
Jays have,
go if the
yeah,
Yankees won, but they didn't. So it's only 4 hours away,
right.
so that'd be easy. Across the country is definitely tough, but Seattle's gonna deal with it too.
Well, also the fact that the matchups the Jays will be more rested than either team, and I think they'll get Chris Bassett in this series. I think he should be available in this series, so
Barrios
that's
is
going to be
done
something to show.
completely.
I think Barrios is done because he was on the IL. He had that second opinion with his elbow inflammation. So, but they said it's intact. So, I don't know if he's going to come back. If I think these, well, I don't know. It's going to take so much for him to go. I think he's already ruled out for the rest of the playoffs, right? So
Yeah, I probably
we'll
agree
see.
with you. So we'll wrap it up here. I mean,
Mm.
I want to see the
Sure.
Tigers win, and I think it's been fun since I've been covering them for the past month. So I'd like to see them do it. That's where I'm gonna be looking at. The Mariners have a good shot, obviously, but I would lean towards the Tigers in Game Five. I really would. I need Tariq, the offense waking up. Like those are the two big things. I feel like Tigers Jays would be fascinating theater. I really think it would be a toss-up series because, like, if Tarek's on, you only get him twice because he pitched
You're
Friday,
right.
so you don't get him three
W-
times with Toronto. And then you guys can start fresh with Gosman and Savage, and you'd have to hope Bieber bounces back because he
And
looked
then
really good.
Bassett, yeah, Bieber and Bassett, yeah,
So you
yeah,
throw Bassett in if he's healthy. I mean, the bullpen's
yeah.
been good for
Bassett will
Bassett.
be back in
Yeah,
this. Yeah,
I guess you'd probably do Bassett
yeah,
four, Bieber three in essence,
yeah,
or flip it if you wanted to
yeah.
because Bassett would have time. So like you think Jays are going to go to the series, obviously. I'm going to say Tigers go the AL. And then the National League, I think Brewers still finish the job probably tomorrow. They almost did it today. The Cubs just rode a good first inning. And then they had a bases loaded jam that Brad Keller got out of. Phillies Dodgers. I'm getting a little bit worried with the Dodgers all of a sudden because, like we said, why can't the Phillies win tomorrow? They have a much better pitcher right now. I could see them winning and filling a spot up on glass now. And then Game Five, Otani versus Luzardo, that would be crazy. Would the Dodgers win that? They could. The Phillies, for some reason, there's a lot of disconnect with their fans at home. Like something weird is going on with them playing at home in the postseason. And it started against the Diamondbacks in 23 when they were up 2 games to 1 and just inexplicably choked. Like something's been going on with them playing at home in October. They've been bad. So like even if they get back to Philly, it's not guaranteed they're gonna beat Otani and the Dodgers in the Game Five.
Well, the thing is, like,
Although Lazardo was
when you have,
phenomenal last time, I thought he was great.
I want to say this is that the question is why did they put Alec Bowman in the cleanup spot?
I have no
That to
idea.
me
I
is the
can't.
question.
I
That
don't know
doesn't
what to
make
do with that.
sense.
That does not
No,
make
no,
sense. That's too
that doesn't
sad.
make sense. You have better
Even
guys in
JT
that
is a
lineup.
veteran, even if he's not what he once was. I mean, Trey Turner gets the top spot.
Yeah, I
Trey
put
Turner.
JT. Yeah, I put
JT did
JT
that.
or
He was decent
Castellanos.
in
Yeah.
October. Castellanos, I don't know. Something's up with him. He hasn't had a good
I don't know,
year.
but Castellanos in the playoffs, he does show up. I mean, he did
Yeah,
get a hit the other day, but he hasn't
yeah,
done
he
much. Yeah, I
does.
get that.
He's done
Yeah.
it before. Yeah, he's done it before. He's a good vet. Like I'm not gonna dispute that. He just like didn't really have the best year. Yeah,
Mm.
I mean, so like, I don't know. What do you think happens in Dodgers Phillies? And do you think the Brewers end the Cubs tomorrow?
What? Let's
They
see
don't
what the
have any
matchup
pitchers
is.
yet. I don't know what the Brewers and
So
Cubs are
that
tomorrow.
it all depends who's pitching tomorrow. Is it Peralta tomorrow, or is it someone else? Is Woodruff is not even on the
Yeah,
roster, right?
yeah, Woodruff is banged up. Freddie threw game one. I don't know if rest. No, I don't know if it is. Wait. Okay, two off. Okay, two off three. I think it's what 3 days rest in theory for Freddie would be. Yeah, because it's game four. So no, I don't think he's going on 3 days rest. I doubt it, unless they want to try to put the staple holes on it. But if it blows up in their face, then they don't have him for a game five. So I don't know what they're gonna do. And the Cubs starting pitching is a train wreck, so I have zero clue what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do either because the thing is like, Milwaukee has the upper hand pitching wise
They do,
over the
yeah.
Cubs, but the
I
Cubs
never
showed
knew.
life today. Yeah. And you know what I say to every ALDS series or any playoff series, the series does not start until you play the opponent's home turf, as in Game 3. And then once that, once if your team sweeps them, okay, the better team comes out. But if the other team starts winning, then it's an actual series, right? So you have to start building up and working from there, right? So that's why, like, the Dodgers took two. Now the Phillies are up 8-1. They're playing in the Dodgers, which is surprising. Actually, it's 8-1. But and then the Cubs going home, and they ended up taking Game 3. So these series will go to battle to the very end. But
Yeah,
um, I don't know. This is so unpredictable. The Dodgers came out firing, but Philadelphia has woken up. If the
yeah.
Phillies wake up, man, they're gonna be dangerous. So I don't know. It could go
I'm
any
gonna
way.
say, I'm gonna say Milwaukee's going to the World Series. I like what I've seen from them the best, and we've talked about them a
Well,
lot. They remind me a lot of Toronto, like you said, because I feel like the Brewers. I know, like I was saying Dodgers, but like I'm not sure because like the Brewers handled them during the season. I know it's different than October, but like there's something the Brewers did that the Dodgers couldn't figure out. Does that translate to October? I don't know, but it might. You never
I
know.
don't know.
So like
Yeah, I don't know.
that's where I'm at, dude. Like, give me. So, who do you think makes the World Series? If you had to make a prediction, like, just give me your NLCS.
Jay's Brewers. Jay's
Okay, so
Brewers.
you're gonna go Jays Brewers.
I said that. I said
And the
that.
Dodgers
Yeah,
win because like they're inevitable, so it's hard to go against them
yeah.
still. And like I'll give
That's
you the
true. I mean, you can't rule out the Dodgers. I'll put it by Dodgers as my second team out of the four teams. I'll have the Dodgers number two because they have the track record, they have the pedigree, they have
guys.
the
Schwarber
players
went
that've been
yard
to the
again.
World
The
Series.
Phillies are
And
ripping.
Rose.
Did you see that? Schwarber went yard again.
Oh,
It's 8-1 Phillies. Uh
wow.
oh.
So if
Uh oh.
that's what I'm saying, 8-1 now.
Uh
Yeah,
oh.
yeah.
If the Phillies do break through, then
And
yeah.
Kershaw's pitching in the game. But like I said,
Oh boy.
series usually begins when you play Game 3, their home turf, even though if you're up 2-0. And that's why I'm curious to see how Game 4 is going to go for the Dodgers Phillies game. I think Milwaukee finishes off depending on who they're pitching tomorrow against the Cubs. Because who's the Cubs throwing out there tomorrow? If Kate Horn was pitching in this series, I would have had a different result because Kate Horn's such a big part of that team,
He
right?
is
And he's
very
hurt
good.
right now. And if he comes back,
Yeah.
yeah, unless he comes back in the NLCS, which I don't even know if he can come because they're saying that he was
I don't think
throwing
it
a
looks
pitch
like a
session and
no
he
to
couldn't do
me.
it.
I think it's a no. I don't think
No,
he's coming back.
that's what
Maybe World
that's what
Series if they
hurts.
got that far, but they're not gonna get that far. The
Yeah,
Brewers are gonna get it, I
yeah,
think. Like even if they don't get it tomorrow, like Freddie will probably slam the door in Game Five, I would imagine. But you never know if it gets that far because it's all hands on deck. How about the Miz? That guy was going off
right.
the other day. He was looking exceptional. If that guy can channel that, like the Brewers are a serious problem.
Miroski, yeah,
He was going
he's
nuts.
special, man. Look,
Bro, he was throwing
yeah,
over
and you have to
104,
understand
104 miles an hour. Okay, like over
he.
104.
I watched Miroski, I think in minor league baseball 3 years ago or in spring training somewhere.
Remember you
Like
telling me about like
the
I grabbed him
stuff
on fantasy when you told me
stuff
about it.
is just, dude, the way
It's
baseball's
skilled.
going, like yep, some of these pitchers just throw nasty stuff, and he is one of them. And you know what's so scary about Milwaukee? They got a kid named Pena, and they got Jesus Made. Their core is coming in a, like, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. They are built for the long run, man. This is what Milwaukee does, man. But the bigger question is, can they win? That's the thing. They haven't been to the World Series since 1982, when
Wow,
Paul Molitor and Robin Yount were there, and I wasn't even born. So it's been that long. It's
that's
been
absolutely
43
insane,
years.
bro.
So
That is
yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
insane. I don't even know how to answer that question.
Like, so look at the teams now. So Jays are in now. Yeah, can
Yeah,
you hear me?
so yeah, so you're gonna go Carlson game one, definitely.
Yep.
That's what you're gonna do, and then
They could go anybody in game two. They could
oh
go
yeah,
with your
right. That's what I'm saying
Savage.
with how well he pitched.
Yeah,
Like
and then you could go Bieber, Bassett, and then Gosman again if you want. That's the four to me. So,
yeah, so
but
congrats to you. Enjoy the moment. You guys earned it. Like goats in
thank you.
the ALCS. Like you guys were the better. They were the better team all year than the Yankees. Like they just like the Yankees just didn't have it together. The Blue Jays were more functional for most of the year, which is crazy considering what we were talking about before the season. Honestly, like who would have thought that would have
Yeah.
been? Who would have thought like when the season started it went like this?
Well, I'll put it off in this way. The moment Vlad got extended to that $500 million
That was a
contract, a
game
lot of people
changer.
were saying that changed everything for this franchise. Like you got Santander, you got Jimenez, you signed Hoffman, you made all these moves, and
I think it changed the
but
mindset
most
of
more
everyone in the
importantly,
league too, right? It changed the mindset of everyone in the team. It made them know that they were going to be all in. It made them know like that they could count on like Vladdy being there. It made them know that they were serious about winning. So that's like I think that was huge. I really do. I just can't. I got to give a lot of credit to the turnaround because you were talking about firing a GM, you were talking about firing a manager, you were talking about blowing it up. Like, remember how wild things got in the off season? Like when you weren't sure if Vladdy was
yeah,
gonna be back, and
yeah.
now
I
look at
I, I was
everything that's
so
changed. Like who would have thought?
d- look from a team that had a lot of questions heading into the season, the uncertainty of this franchise, the direction of this franchise, to not only winning the division, going to the ALCS for the first time in 9 years, and on top of that, think about this: the Jays have won 7 AL East titles, and they've been to the ALCS in every one of them, all
That's
7 of them.
that's
So,
an interesting fact. I did not know that. That's a fun fact.
yep,
Wow,
yep.
who would have? That's an interesting one. Because that's I mean
Yeah,
that's
you learn something new every day when I'm
I
around,
know
right?
that's exactly that is. I guess that's good news for you guys if you win the AL East. I guess it means you're going to the CS. Shit, might as well just put it in
I guess
stone.
so.
I didn't even. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I do have one
I,
question before
I,
we go.
sure.
I can't do my plugs on the screen because like I can't control my screen, but
Oh, no problem. No
that's
problem.
okay. You could do yours, but before we do that, like, and how much are we at? Like an hour, like 40, 50? I can't even see it.
We're at 52 right now,
Or yeah, let's
fifty-two
get on to an
twenty-six and
hour
counting.
at least. So like,
Yeah.
how do you feel Garrett Cole's going to return? Do you think the Yankees can count on him next year?
Ooh.
Like, how do you expect him to look? I think that's our last question before we sign off. Let's end there because that's like good optimism potentially. He's going to be like he's 35 now. His back at 9 is definitely coming. I think there's what 3 years left in
All
his
right.
deal after this, which I can't believe how fast the time has gone. And the fact they haven't won a championship in his first 5 to 6 years is completely unacceptable. Like when they signed that deal, they thought he was going to deliver a ring or two. It's not his fault; it hasn't gone this way. But like all the bull crap around it that's taking place, it really has nothing to do with him. 2021, he was pitching in Fenway Park hurt. Let's just say that now. Get that out of the way for people that still want to bring that up. I know in 2022 he was bad against Houston. I'm not going to deny that. He just wasn't good. But overall, he's been nails in October. You saw last year what happened before the destruction in Game 5. So, I mean, how do you think he's going to be coming back?
So I think he should be the number two starting pitcher because remember he's hitting into his age 36 season,
Yeah, and
and
you
he's
could
not
split it
going to be
between Max and Carlos because you could go left, right, left. It
right,
makes some sense
right,
there. I guess you
right.
still say
So
three's the ace. You put Carlos at three. You
yeah,
go Cole two,
yeah,
Cam four, which is potent, and then five is the battle between Heel and Warren, unless you make a move and add more depth.
yeah. I think that's what it comes down to, like how you want to. You don't want to overuse him because he's not going to throw 99, 100 like he used to in his pre Tommy
That's
John
gonna
surgery.
take
So
2 years
he's
if he can even do it anymore.
yeah.
Because Verlander was
I
good
don't know
though
if he
until,
could.
but Verlander
Right,
was good like, until
right,
his 30s when he got the Tommy John. So it's possible.
right. It's
But it
possible,
might
but I
not be
think
though. We
well,
don't
what
know. We
Hugh,
don't know. Yeah.
you have to also remember Houston managed his innings too, and that's if they want that to happen. I don't know if the Yankees will, knowing that winning organization, pressure to win, trying to win a World Series with Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole in their primes. I mean, and Stan. That's what it comes down to, and I think they're going to be aggressive again in the offseason. Like, so that the other thing is that I want to say something quick before you end this off.
Yeah, just try to get
I'm
it under
quick
an
curious
hour
to
if you
see.
could. I don't know.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I just want to say something about the bullpen quick. So we know that Bednar is the closer of this team next year.
I think
But
so.
what's the rest of the bullpen look like?
I
Like,
don't
what do you
know.
is Jake Burke part of the plans?
You have to see
Right?
if they can
Duvall
fix him.
looks
He's
like
under
he's still.
control for a while. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's try to fix Jake.
they're
Duvall's going to be around. Devin is up in the air. Luke is up in the air. Fernando's still under control. You got to bring back Tim Hill. He was so good again. Bring him back again.
yeah.
You got to do that. And so that's like, do you call up a guy like Harrison Cohen? I think he's knocking on the MLB door if they add him to the 40-man roster. He
That's
could
the
be a big
thing,
one of
right?
these.
So
I would maybe take a look at him. He reminds me a lot of Tommy Canley. Similar stuff, similar mannerisms too. So that might be a guy worth throwing in the mix. I think he would
yeah,
be, if you want to take a shot with a kid, put him in the bullpen and see what he does. He is like 25 or 26, so it's kind of time anyway at this point.
hmm.
So yeah, I would do that. I think if you want to add someone in the farm, I would put him in there. Could Lagrange become a reliever if the starting thing doesn't work out? It's possible. I still think he should be turn every tire to be a starting pitcher because how elite he is. But we have to see how that goes. So the bullpen's going to be a puzzle, but they got to make a lot of moves. But here's something. Let's end on this. I was talking to my friend, my other friend. Is Raichel Iglesias the guy the Yankees will target? Because you told me they checked in at the deadline and he's a free
They
agent
did
now.
that.
I could see him
So
coming. I could see him being a seventh or eighth inning guy for the Yankees.
let's just say, let me throw it out there quick. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Edwin Diaz is going to opt out of his contract.
Yeah, the Yankees won't do
Do,
that.
do you don't think so? You don't
They're
think they're
not
going
going
to
to pay
throw,
the money for
throw?
a reliever.
Well, they did it before with Chapman, right?
But they
Once
haven't done
upon a
it
time.
since,
But
and
I
look
mean,
what happened with all that. Like they
yeah,
don't want to do that anymore. So
yeah.
I'm not sure about Devin either, because someone will give him a decent contract, not as much as we originally thought. He'll probably still
I
get
feel
like
like a
10 million
team.
a year
Yeah,
at least.
yeah. He's gonna
So
go like with the Astros or Angel, like somewhere to a winning competitive team where they can try to build and I think it's also an environment too. So it all depends because Devin's changeup is still a thing. It's just his fastball sometimes just gets hit around, right? So he's a two pitch pitcher. So I
yeah,
don't
it's
know how
tough.
the Yankees are gonna. And Weaver, I think, is gone. I think he's done
Yeah, he
with the
probably
Yankees.
should be.
He's gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah, Chris will not like to hear
Yeah,
that. Someone just brought up Chris and texted me,
yeah,
but poor Chris, that's a tough outing if that's how it goes down.
yeah. It's too bad.
Hopefully
Yeah.
he figures it out elsewhere if that's what happens. But no ill will towards
Mm.
Luke, because like I was just upset with how they were using him, but like he just didn't have it at the end. He did a lot of great stuff. Shouldn't be lost in 2 years that he contributed, because it was very helpful in a lot of big situations.
No, for sure. Right. So at the end of the day, you got to look at it this way: bullpen. You need a great bullpen to win.
Yeah.
Right. And the Yankees didn't have
So
enough of that this series.
no, they didn't. Blue Jays' pen was better than I thought, and you told me that too. So I gotta give credit to you there.
Yeah.
You did warn me about the bullpen and the depth that they have, and it really showed that it was better than the Yankees on all accounts. So you get to
Yeah.
give your plugs, I'll give mine, and we'll get going.
All right. All right. So for my Instagram, it's Sports Avenue Twisted. For Blue Jays Avenue, it's Blue Jays Avenue. On Instagram, and then on Twitter, or you call it X or whatever you want to call it. It's it's Sports AVE Twist, and then on Blue Jays Avenue, it's BJAVEPOD.
Yeah, I agree with that. Oh, I got a message, but yeah, no, Rocky, thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I don't know if we'll check back in for a minute. I might need a break. This has been an exhausting 10 days for me. I might do something for the Tigers Mariners game because I like watching them. So we'll see if I do something for fun on that. Maybe I'll check back in with my Tigers friends, the ML Tigers report. Roger Castillo is a very good friend of mine, good Tigers reporter. So maybe I'll try to check back in there for Game 5 if I could. We'll see. So yeah, I want to thank everyone that was with me for the Yankees coverage. I know it got spotty towards the end, but like I was still doing what I could, even though I wasn't at the games. Would I've liked to go to more? Probably, but that's a conversation for another day. I'm not sure what next year is going to look like with this team, with me, or like if how much Yankees games I'm going to cover. If I'm going to do spring because I might go to WBC, I don't know, but You can catch me here on Julian Guilarte YouTube. Facebook and TikTok is the same, and I do content there as well. Share it all out. And then Twitter is Julian Guilarte 1, and Instagram is Julian Guilarte 11. So thanks everyone. Rocky, thank you as well.
Thank you.
If the Blue Jays like make the World Series or something, I'll probably check back in, or maybe if it's Blue Jays Tigers, I'll check back in. We'll have to see how it goes, but yeah, I need at least a day, and that's gonna happen tomorrow.
All right, sounds good, man.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Did you finish or?
It's botched because of like the weird situation.